Hi, my name is Liz. I'm with Big Hairy Dog, and today we're going to be talking about mobile POS, specifically in regards to Prism. So if you guys have joined for previous mobile POS webinars, you're going to know that Prism is what we call a fully functional mobile workstation. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here. We're going to give it a few minutes. I'm going to wait for a few more attendees to arrive. But one more time, my name is Liz with Big Hairy Dog, and today we're going to be going over Retail Pro Prism, specifically the mobile functions it has. All right, thank you so much, and hang tight for just a bit. All right, so it's been a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. And if we have anybody who joins us late, I'm more than happy to go ahead and answer any questions. Or, of course, this webinar will be emailed to all those who registered. And like I said, my name is Liz with Big Hairy Dog, with Big Hairy Dog, and today we're going to be going over mobile POS for Prism. Now, Prism specifically is a browser-based software, which means that you can have full functionality of a workstation in a mobile device like an iPad or a phone even. Any kind of tablet. So long as we can go ahead and get internet access on that tablet, you're going to be able to go ahead and the same as if you were on a complete PC. Now, there's a little bit of configuration setup. You know, if we want to be able to print receipts, we do want to make sure that our tablet has access to the printer. But, you know, that is all just set up and some extra peripherals. We're going to go ahead and take a look at essentially Prism's point of sale. And so mobile POS, if you have a scanner attached to the iPad tablet, you will be able to scan items just like you would at your actual workstation. You will also be able to charge a credit card. Again, if we have a card reader attached to the tablet or the mobile device, you can also put it in manually. Now, the receipt is loaded into Retail Pro or Prism in real time. And actually, if you are a current V9 client, we can also go ahead and we do also have a software called Foundry Logic that is Retail Pro 9 and 8 version of the mobile POS. We would actually be able to even ring people up on, or start the process of ringing people up on the mobile tablet, and we can hold the receipt and send that back to Retail Pro, and it is in real time. And remember, the key part of that is that we are connected to the same internet. So if we are connected to Wi-Fi, of course, because we have to be mobile, we just want to be on the same Wi-Fi network. You will have access to all of your data that is in Prism. So you can search by customer. If the customer exists in Prism, you can find them on the mobile device. If they don't exist in Prism just yet, we can add them on the mobile device. Item searching. Again, I would say most of the time, actually, the mobile devices, because they are limited in what we have ports-wise and what we can plug into a mobile device. And of course, we have to consider it of weight. People are going to be walking around with that. So we might not have the scanner and the card reader and the whole 9 yards, but we'll have the essentials. So perhaps just the card reader. If we do just have the card reader, then we want to make sure that our associates get really comfortable with searching in in Prism. It is a little different, so I'm going to spend some time kind of talking about that a little bit. And if we go ahead and kind of take note of our on-hand quantities at other locations, that is for V9 only. All right. Now, like I said, we do have full functionality on your workstation. That's just a little bit of a configuration. If anybody has any questions on that, we're happy to go ahead and go into further detail with you. And of course, any current V9 clients, if you'd like to go ahead and set up a Prism demo, let us know. And if you're interested in kind of what it might look like via a tablet, we can even go ahead and show you what that might be. But it is all scalable. I'll talk about that in just a moment when we get to our actual web page here. As for other sales and receipt information, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that really in Prism. All right, I'm going to just minimize this for a moment. All right, sorry for the delay. I'm moving around my GoToMeeting controls. All right. And so right now I am on a web browser. So right now I'm actually working off of a laptop. Our main server is in a completely different location, a completely different machine. But again, all I really need is our IP address and the link to go ahead and access my specific instance. So I need the IP and the port number essentially. And that's how we can go ahead and make sure that we can, that we're attaching ourselves to, of course, the correct store. And there's a little bit of configuration that we're going to do in the admin console, but we're not going to go ahead and get that far into it in this particular webinar. Like I said, we can go ahead and access this via a tablet, iPhone, regular phone, anything that we want. And we're going to essentially see this exact same screen. Currently, we are in the point of sale screen. Actually move this over and maximize it. And if you notice, when I went ahead and maximized that screen, the layout did change. Because it is browser-based, it is scalable. So if you open this up on an iPad, it will obviously be smaller, but we're going to have the same layout. We also have the ability of configuring different layouts per workstation. So if we have 2 workstations that are your average everyday computers and have very large monitors, it's going to be just fine, and it'll work perfectly on a mini iPad or something similar. All right, so one more time, I'm going to go ahead and hit that Retail Pro button just to show you. So these are our Prism menus. Our administration console, that's where we're going to go ahead and get those specific workstation preferences set up. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead, everything that we're going to be working in today is going to be point of sale. So clicking point of sale, you see here we are, we can have access to our customers and our main point of sale. You can see that's where we're actually at because of that little triangle. Now, to start a new transaction, of course, we're just going to hit new transaction. And here we go. Now I have my item lookup. So even on a mobile, I can go ahead, like I said, if I had a scanner attached to my mobile device, I can just scan the barcode that is on the item. One, and there we go. And so I used the ALU for that particular item, and I had two of them that kind of matched what I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I select the right one, and I'm going to hit select item and get that item on my screen. Now, if we do not have a scanner attached, we would need to go ahead and use our little spyglass, our little magnifying glass, to open up our inventory search. And we all right, I think we're back here. Perfect. Okay, so I apologize if I lose connection or anything like that. We'll jump right back into it. So this is our filters. And so those of you eagle-eyed people who are watching the screen already probably noticed that I removed one of the available filters. I can remove all of the available filters. That is something that is absolutely customizable. And so if we're starting from scratch here and I don't have any available filters, what I want to do is use my search by, select, and I can choose how I'm going to search for this item. Probably one of the easiest is going to be one of the descriptive fields, whatever my native English is, especially since we are bringing this up on a mobile device. Alternatively, if I have my barcodes on the item and my barcodes are displaying the ALU or the UPC, I might want to go ahead and just use that, and I can type the barcode directly into that search bar. Let's go ahead and hit ALU here, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the ALU I'm looking for. 646. And the other thing I need to go ahead and pay very close attention to is how I'm searching. So by default, it is set to equals. So it is looking for an exact match on ALU. Now we have a lot of other options as well. We have not equal, contains, is empty, is not empty. So for point of sale, or for our mobile point of sale, we're probably going to want to stick with equals. But just remember that you have those other options if the barcode got removed or ripped off or anything like that. It happens. We have descriptive information, descriptive fields that we can look for, and other ways of searching. All right, but for right now, that's good enough. I have the ALU, and I know that that is the item's ALU, so I want to set that to equal. Over here, it is a little hard to see, but highlighted in blue is my active, which means that we are only looking for active items currently. If you are having trouble finding an item, one quick trick is going to be to try to check the inactive items. Perhaps someone accidentally inactivated the item without realizing that we still had them on hand that we needed to be able to sell. For right now, I'm going to leave that as active, and I have to make sure that we come down here and hit search. All right, so it searches, and again, we got two items that kind of fit the bill here, so I need to go ahead and make sure that I'm paying attention to the descriptive information, and this just happens to be my t-shirt Nike V-neck with the Swish logo. So I'm going to make sure I hit that little check mark that's right there. It is grayed out if it is currently unselected, and as soon as we click it, it highlights the entire line and lets you know that that is one of the items that you are planning to bring to the receipt. All right, and so there we go. We're selecting that item. I'm going to hit OK, and there we go. And now, if these were the only 2 items this person was hoping to purchase. Like I said, I can still put them on the receipt even at this time if they wanted to go ahead and give me their information, or if they already existed. Again, we have our first and last name here, or I can just use my little search. I could also hit the new. Let's go ahead and see if I have. There we go. There I have Liz Martinez. That's the only one there, so I don't have to worry about looking too hard. So there we go. And I can see my contact information pop up here. And now it's just time to tender this transaction. And again, even on a mobile point of sale, we're going to be able to go ahead and basically use any form of tender. If you did want to use cash at a mobile point of sale, we would want to make sure that we were configured to a cash box that we can give change, or had another way of giving change. But of course, the system will let you take cash. Card is probably more likely because the little card readers are pretty easy to get. You can plug those in usually to any tablet or smartphone using the jack that's on the bottom of the phone. Or of course, there are some options that are USB compatible. So they're mag strip readers that just plug directly into a tablet via USB. And of course, it will take any other form of payment that we have set up in our company preferences. We just have to go ahead and be considerate of how we're going to go ahead and give change back, if any, at mobile point of sale. All right, so we have our items, we have our customer. And remember, if we didn't have a customer, we'd be able to go ahead and add a brand new customer. And I'm going to go ahead and tender this transaction. Like I said, we can absolutely take cash. If I want to go ahead and switch that to something else, I want to go ahead and come on down here to the bottom left and hit tender type, and it will allow me to change my tender type. So I'm going to go ahead and say instead they are giving me a credit card. So credit card type, let's just say that's going to be a Visa, and that's really all the information that I'm going to go ahead and put in for right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit that blue take button. And there we go. So that means we have taken the full amount, the $125.22, and now our balance down over here is 0. So our given amount is going to be 0. They gave us exact, so we don't owe them any change. And now essentially I can print an update only, or I can print a gift receipt. Now, when you're printing from a mobile point of sale, again, that is we want to make sure that we are configured so that we can see our desired printer, whether that be an office printer in the back, because our mobile point of sales are used for emergencies only, or that be one of the unused receipt printers or a specialty printer that's kind of on the side, specifically waiting for that mobile point of sale receipt. All right, so if I go ahead and print update, there we go. Let's go ahead and switch that print design. So this is something that can absolutely be automatic. The only reason that it's having me select now is because I don't have a default setup. Well, I don't have a default printer setup. I did have a default design, the Puma receipt, but I want to show you guys the BHD40. And for right now, let me just go ahead and let's just do a quick PDF. All right. Optionally, we also have the option to go ahead and directly email these receipts to our clients, which is usually the preferred method for a mobile point of sale. Instead of configuring a receipt printer or having its own special receipt printer, we just email from this particular point of sale workstation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit preview for a moment. Oh, look at that. Let me see, apologize. That actually might have been why I was set up to go and look at my other default. So if I had sent that to a regular printer, that would have printed, even though it didn't, it had an error in previewing to the screen. And if not, the sale still did go through. We can always reprint that receipt or re-email that receipt. And so to actually see that, I would want to go back to Retail Pro point of sale. And then we have our transaction lookup. So if anything like that would have happened while you're on mobile point of sale, you still have access to all of your sales history, and you can reprint that transaction. Remember, mobile For Prism, it's going to still be full functionality. And that is, once again, for Prism, and that is because it is a web-based software. And so let's go ahead and pull up one more time. And so that was relatively quick, but we did go over pretty much everything for our mobile point of sale for Prism. We went over searching. We went over adding a customer. I can show you guys how to add a new customer in just a moment. And of course, scanning items and adding that credit card information. The way we were configured currently, that was under the assumption that we had a device or a magstrip reader, something that would take care of the credit card information for us. But you can absolutely add that in manually as well. Other sales receipt information. So really quick, let's actually pop back over there. I'm going to go ahead and pop back into that new transaction. And so other sales receipt information, that's going to be more so our transaction details over here. So if we wanted to go ahead and add any additional shipping information, I can do that here. Any additional discounting, I can actually do that here. And that would be what we have referred to, what people might know it as a global discount, a discount on the entire receipt versus what we call a line item discount, which of course is a discount on the singular line item. So let me go ahead and pop that in really quick. One more time, we've got two options. Go ahead and select the correct one. All right, and then you see highlighted on the item, we get access to this other, these other options here. So we can go into the details for this item. No matter which one you choose, it'll open up essentially the same box, just drop you in a slightly different location. We see our item details. Anything that's grayed out cannot be currently edited. And I can go ahead and pop over to my discounts. So if for this particular item, we wanted to give somebody a discount on it, even out on our mobile point of sale, it was damaged and we're selling it damaged, and we're going to go ahead and give them a little 10% off. I can make sure that it's well documented. And again, no difference between a mobile point of sale and doing this on a workstation. We just want to make sure that everything's configured properly, peripherals wise or hardware wise. All right. So if I were to go ahead and put in that discount percent, 10%, select a discount reason. These reasons are something that we can set up, and again, in that administration console. I'm going to go ahead and just select damage. There we go. And I'm going to hit apply. And okay. And there we go. Now that has that little discount on it, which is separate from the global discount. That one is the line item discount. I'd be able to tender this transaction as normal. Or again, I can hold this transaction and I can even unhold it on a different workstation if my client still wanted to do a little bit of shopping and maybe just wanted a quick price check on what we'd give it to them for, seeing as it is damaged. All right. And so while we still have a little bit of time, I also want to take a moment to talk about other mobile POS options. So Retail Pro Mobile POS, we're going to be talking about Foundry Logic. And so Foundry Logic is an app that works with Retail Pro version 8 and version 9. Like I said, for Prism, we can bypass the Foundry Logic because we get full functionality because it's a web-based software. But for our non-web-based software systems, or Foundry Logic, essentially what we're doing is loading our configuring the Foundry Logic app on a mobile device. So that way it can go ahead and communicate with Retail Pro, and that does happen in real time. That is where we'd be able to start scanning in items on the mobile point of sale, and if we wanted to put that receipt on hold, we can send it to Retail Pro, and that would be ready to unhold at an actual workstation. All right. And then, so I want to just go down a little bit. This is kind of what we usually see, what we usually work with, an iPad or an iPod mini. There are also some newer options that have the scanners built in and have the card readers built in here. All right. And that's our Foundry Logic mobile POS, just a little bit of a diagram to kind of help understand a little bit more about what or how it gets its information back into the Retail Pro database. But essentially, again, if you want to go this route, if you need a mobile POS and you are on version 8 or version 9, we set you up. And the important thing is ensuring that we have stable internet connection. We do need them to be able to talk to each other, and we want them to go ahead and not have any confusion. You need to be able to go ahead and take payments on it. Otherwise, you would have to just send it over as a held receipt. I just wanted to take a moment to show you that we did have these Foundry Logic options if you're not quite ready to move up to Prism just yet. And we come on down. For Retail Pro Prism specifically, this is what we were already kind of looking at. One more down. So this is just kind of referring to what that might look like on an actual iPad. So it might be a little hard to see. I apologize. But it all is just scaled down. So where it's easier to see it in more of a list view instead of all the way across, that's how it'll be formatted on the iPad here. But again, full functionality. I can add new transactions, new customers, and just slightly different layout. Over here, this is just an example of how how Prism is able to do that. Essentially, it has its main server, and once that main server is set up, we are just attaching to the IP, to the cloud right there. And so you see here is a mobile point of sale, and we have 2 additional workstations. And again, complete same functionality at all 3 workstations here. Over here, this is going to be a little bit more if you have a Retail Pro 9 server. Same with this one here. So you also have there is also some of the newer, some of the older Prisms, some of the first Prisms they actually launched with V9 as their database in the background, and they call that Prism RIL. And we have, of course, the Prism proper, which is entirely separate. So there has been a little bit of a journey in getting Prism to where it is now. But with that, we have a lot of options and a lot of experience in getting people upgraded and getting them in a great spot so they're set up for success. Not only do we have a little bit of the overlap of what Retail Pro 9 used to be, moving forward, we're going to be working with Prism, and it's a little bit easier because it has so many similarities. We're going to set you up, for success. All right, but let me go ahead and see here. And so finally, I did want to go ahead and also talk about briefly the inventory scanners. Because we also have scanners, inventory scanners that have your entire inventory loaded, but they are not mobile point of sale workstations. And so it's important to understand the distinction. We do have, we lovingly refer to them as part scanners, and then the dummy scanners would be kind of like an older PT model, like this discontinued fellow over here, where this one does not actually have access to your inventory. Can't tell you that, hey, this SKU does not exist in your inventory currently. Whereas a smart scanner over here, Janum and Foundry Logic, Honeywell Dolphins, and now moving forward, the Zebra as well, they have the inventory fully loaded. We can complete PIs, we can do inventory cycle counts, but we do not have the functionality to ring a sale on these devices. All right, so I just want to make sure people understand that difference. And that's about it. If nobody has any questions, then I can go ahead and let you guys off a little bit early today. Again, my name is Liz with Big Hairy Dog, and this was a little bit of information on mobile point of sale, specifically in regards to Prism, which again is going to be fully functional. It will seem like it was an actual workstation. The layout's just going to be a little different. And we just want to be considerate of the additional hardware that we might need to configure because it won't have a printer directly attached to it. And of course, that reminder that inventory scanners are different from the mobile point of sale scanners. And of course, for those of you that are just kind of checking in from version 8 or version 9 to see what Prism has to offer. Remember that there is also options for mobile point of sale in version 8 and version 9. Prism is just a little bit easier because it is browser-based. All right. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, I'll hang tight for a second just in case anybody joins. But other than that, everyone have a great rest of your day and a happy new year.